do we go?
What's up, y'all? My name is Ross Swinson. Today, we're learning the solo from Sweet Child of Mine. If you like our content, please give us a like, a follow, comment, all that good stuff. And check us out on Patreon and YouTube memberships. All right, let's jump into the solo. All right, first part, here we go. Now, before we get started, I'm in E-flat standard tuning. Slash tunes to E-flat for a lot of their songs. And yeah, oh, also, my SG is confusing. I am not great at working on wiring on guitars, but I did anyways, and so this is backwards now. So this looks like it's on the bridge pickup, but it's actually on the neck pickup, which is where he is for this section. All right, let's get started. So if you know your pentatonic scales, we're in pattern, what I call pattern 2, what some people call the major pentatonic scale. Up here, all of this is in E minor pentatonic. So 17th fret, we're gonna bend that up. Now, I try to be careful about string noise here. Do what you can. I have my hand sort of muting the other strings. And then you come down to 15. So we're kind of changing position with this little trill from 14 to 15 down to 12. Then you do it again. But this time you go down to 11, which puts you in harmonic minor, so that's kind of a big characteristic of this solo. Oh yeah, and I would do it like this, with those fingers, so you don't have to slide around too much. It helps me be a little more accurate. So go back up. So now we're kind of in a pentatonic pattern 1 right here. I would say before you get all the notes down, don't worry too much about this next thing I'm going to say about bends. Just try to get the bends and things, everything in place. But I feel like these are kind of negative bends. Some people call them pre-bends. 15, and then I hit 12, and then you get this thing again. Same thing as just an octave lower. All right, so that does it for part 1. So here's part 2. All right, so I actually used to play this differently, but I watched some live videos of Slash, and it seems like he's down here in pattern 5, what I would call pattern 5. All right. So we got 11 and 12 on G, and then 10 and 13 on B. And then you get another little theme in this whole section. You can just sort of kind of get used to those things and make your own solo. So bending 13 a whole step down to 12. You get this quick little half bend up and down. Now, when I learned this, I learned it in standard tuning, and I would play along with the track just raised up a half step. But the tension on my strings was wrong, so the bending ended up being a big hurdle for me because I would go like, you know, I'd overbend these little half bends that he does. So, you know, take some time to really get your bends in tune because that's super important, and it's really a big part of Slash's style. All of his bends, if you get, you know, the negative bend and you just get the bends in tune the way he does, it makes it sound so much more true to the song. Now that's a big jump. That's 15 whole step bend up to 17. And that pretty much does it for part 2. So here's part 3 for you. And we get the monster lick coming up after that, so I'll stop there. Now, this is another part that I just tried to find the way he's really playing it live so I could see what positions he was in. So, you know, you can do, sometimes he does this little bend here, sometimes he does it here. And then I've seen a lot of tabs that go down to there. That's totally fine. I mean, this is all, it's all E harmonic minor. But I did see live, it goes down to here for that part. He might not do that every time. I don't think it super matters, but anywho, the main thing you want to get down in this part is, so that's a fun little riff. I have seen some people hammer on, but I think it's a bend. It's a little half-step bend up and down, and then hitting the root right there. So this is a fun part. You're bending the harmonic minor note, the natural 7, up to the root, and then back down. And then right there, instead of going up to there, I think he slides up to here usually. And then that's the part where he goes down to that. And then this last time, if you want to be super precise, I think he goes, just hits that root one time instead of twice. That's what I tried to do, but again, watch him play it live. I mean, he'll do these positions and stuff, but he's also never playing it the same way exactly twice. And there's even been some live videos that I saw where I was like, ooh, let's see how he recovers from this, you know, and then he recovers perfectly, you know. But anyways, whoops. And then it goes into the monster lick. So right here, this is where I actually like to make the transition from neck to bridge pickup, and I turn on the wah. So I'll go, you know. So in the middle of that like little bend, I just go ahead and try to get that wah ready. That transition is actually one of the hardest things about recording this solo for me, was getting that transition clean. And you know, it's not perfect, but you know, it's pretty clean, I think. So that does it for part 3. Okay, the monster lick. Let's do it. Just realized I didn't use the wah that whole time, but that's okay. So, all right, we're starting down here in E minor. Now, this is the way I learned how to do it. I actually did it slightly differently for years, and then I changed one of the notes thanks to Don telling me that it was actually the harmonic minor note, the leading tone. All right, you don't have to do this note for note if you have a harmonic minor lick that you like, but here is how I think it goes. This is, you know, to the best of my ability. So here we go. All right, it's really tough to play that slow after trying to get it up to speed after all this time. But so most of this is just 16th notes. Practice them in groups of 4. The only time that's not really a 16th note is the beginning and the end. You have this, that little, that's not a 16th note there. So here's some groups for you to practice it in. You got, also, those first 2 notes are actually a lead in. That starts on the and. So that's like and 1, you know. You really gotta just get that on rhythm before you can move on too much, you know? So then we have group of 16th notes there. I'm sliding from 10 to 12 on B with my pinky. And then you got this gnarly reach to the 8th fret on the E string. Sorry, we got one group at a time, okay. This is a great way to practice it, just 1 E and 2 E and 1 E and so we got. And when I say that's how I learned it, I mean it. I literally was just doing that for a long time. Okay, so now we got so that's going to be 11 E, 12 B, 8, and 11 on E. So I hope I haven't been ice picking you guys' ears with the wah on full blast this whole time, but all right, now we got this kind of slide up technique that he uses in other songs like Paradise City to get higher and higher in the neck. So we're gonna do pinky slide from 12 to 14, and then 11, 12 with index and middle. Now, if you learn how to do this with, by tapping your foot, it's really easy to transition to just doing that with your foot on the wah. He might do a little more finesse than that, but that's pretty much what I'm doing, is just tapping my foot to the beat with the wah. So now we got same motion, but just a different pattern. So we got 14, slide to 15, 12, 14. So it's starting to take shape a little bit. Now we got just coming down our minor scale there. 15, 14, 12, 15B. Wait, that's what it is. You can also, so I said practice each one just in a group of 4. Obviously, you can combine them into groups of 8 as you get these under your fingers, but at first, like, just doing groups of 4 is a good way to construct the lick and memorize it. Okay. Now here's where it changes from 16th notes. That last one is a little trill, just like that. And this is where Don corrected me. So I had always been going, so I'd been hitting that 15th fret, that D, but if you listen closely, he's hitting a D sharp. So I'm doing that with my pinky here. So I'm hitting it right there, but you can also hit it here if that's easier. I just found that it was easier for me to do it this way since I'd been hitting this note. All I did was stretch my pinky a little bit more. So now I'm gonna do this last lick all together. So we have, that's like 15 and then 12 on E. And you do this quick bend up and down, pull off to 12. And then that 15 is the downbeat of the next part. So this monster lick, here we go, all at once. All right, that does it for that monster lick. I hope I explained that well. Let's go on to the next part, which would be like part 4, I believe. All right, so this is like, if you've ever, learned some pentatonic solos, this is a part that's probably in familiar territory for you. So that's the same lick twice. We got 15 on the B string we're bending twice. And then we're bending it up and down, pulling off to 12, and then 14 on G. I've said it often, but one of the most important licks you can learn to start really getting better at these pentatonic solos is this kind of thing. I'm just picking one time, bend up and down, pull off. You can do it on. And those are just used a lot in moving from one lick to the next. So anyways, we got. And then from there we go up to 17 and do a bend. Sorry. So he kind of catches the G string on that one. I did my best to get that in the recording. It's kind of tough because it's almost like you have to use bad technique in a way. Normally we're trying to mute the other strings when we're doing a bend. But if you want to get that gnarly noise there, I'm just kind of like using my ring finger to get that G string too. So, and then here's this next part. I've seen some people go, what I'm doing is a full bend and then giving it an extra half bend at the top. And then just doing a full bend again. So one bend, like a full step, step and a half, and then, but also you can grab that note here too if you want. I'm really not sure which one he does, to be honest. And then, or he might do a negative bend there. It's kind of hard to hear in this wah section. But there it is again. That's just used a ton. That's a big part of pentatonic vocabulary. So, okay, next lick. Let's get on to that. Okay, so we have so that's another classic pentatonic lick, 15 bend, and then you come down the pentatonic scale. And then we're going to do sort of a half pre-bend. There's that bend down pull-off thing again. So and he hits that again. And then, so we got 12 and then 14, kind of a slow bend. 12, 14, 12, and then we're gonna do this classic lick here. This is used all over the place. Jimi Hendrix, Jimmy Page, all the Jimmys. Anyways, so you got a 14 bend, and you're kind of holding it while your pinky gets the 15th fret on the B string, and sometimes the high E string. There's not a ton of precision in this part, One thing I will say is I counted, and I think he does it 5 times here, so I'm actually going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 before I do that. And so that's another bend up and down pull off, 14. And he's kind of getting that little muted strum in there. Okay. And that does it for that lick. So now we got this is another doozy of a lick. So we got, that one's not too bad, just. You got this little hammer-on pull-off. So one of the things that is kind of a signature in this part, though, is are those little muted strums. So we got like a. So he does that twice, I believe, and then you go into This is another really fun lick, and I like this because it's a pattern you can use in any of your like 2-note per string pentatonic patterns. So we got, that's the first bit, so you got 12th fret twice, and then 14th fret pull off on the D string. So it's important to get your pick strokes right here, because that's really what makes this lick usable, is that the right hand ends up being pretty ergonomic and natural if you get your down and your upstrokes correct. So now right here, so the last half of it you pick 3 times. You have, right here you pick twice. So you go 14, pull off to 12, and then hammer back on. At least this is how I did it. If you think he does it a different way, or if you like to do it a different way, let us know in the comments. But so you got pick, 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 pull off, and then pick, pick, pull off, hammer on. So that's another thing with your right hand. It'll just be a lot easier if you can just get that down, even on just that those 2 strings first. And then the pattern just continues. You just walk that up your pentatonic scale. So now for these 2 strings, we have these notes. So and then you get, so even though that sounds crazy, it's really just a 2-string pattern that he repeats, and he does it 3 times total. And then at the top, so that's like another little walk down here, 15, 14, and then we're gonna do 12 and 15, hammer on pull off, 15B, back to 12, and then 15 bend. So we got, let's see. And that's it for that lick. Now this next one is another signature lick of this song, and all these licks that I keep saying are signature. I mean, it's what makes this solo so iconic. But anyways, you have this like a. Okay, so this is kind of a variation on another lick that I like to call the circle lick. It's this kind of thing. So what he's doing is he's bending the 15th fret and then coming down the pentatonic scale from 12E, and then bending the 14th fret on G, and then coming down the pentatonic scale from E, and then doing it again. So you get. The way I'm picking this is using kind of a sweep, so like an economy picking thing. I'm doing a lot of just upstrokes here, so we got, if you can get used to this, that's just up, up, pull off. So generally it's like, for this, I'm doing a downstroke, and then up, up, pull off, and then I'm doing another upstroke on this one because it's kind of on my way, you know, so we got, down, up, 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 down. But again, this is a heavily wad section, for lack of a better word or term. But yeah, he uses the wah a lot here, so it's kind of muddled a little bit. You know, if you are having trouble getting that up to speed, I mean, any kind of like if you have a fast pentatonic lick here at all, you know, if you could do that little circle lick I was talking about. Or even just like, I don't know, just any like repeatable pentatonic lick that you can just go crazy with here on the wah. And then he finishes this part with a bend that starts as a whole bend, but then kind of at the end gets its way up to 1.5 bend. Okay, here's the last lick. So we got. This for me was kind of the weirdest timing wise for some reason. So what he does is like, that note right there is on the end of 4, I guess, but it's not on the downbeat, so it sounds a little off time. But then when he comes into this, that's on the downbeat. So we have this. So that's a 12-15 hammer-on pull-off on E, and then 15 to 12, 15B to 12E. So we got. And it's almost actually the same as the other lick that, you know, or so you got that little 14 bend up and down and pull off to 12 again. That lick comes up everywhere if you start paying attention and listening out for it. So we got, and then doing that like 14 bend and hold it and getting the 15th fret on B again. To me, this is like a Jimi Hendrix type of lick. I can't remember exactly if it's in Voodoo Child or what, but I think he does that in Voodoo Child. So anyways, so we got, all right, so then after that, let's see. So now he's kind of like coming down 14, pulling off to 12, 14D, and then 14, 12, and you kind of do it again, 14, 12, G, 14D, and then hitting that 12, that final note, and he slides down, and then he kind of slides back up slightly at the end. So you have, and the timing is really weird with it. I suggest just slowing it down on YouTube and playing along with it if you can. And yeah, all that starts with that 1.5 bend. And that does it for the solo. That's the final lick. Okay guys, we did it. That was the solo from Sweet Child of Mine. If you like our content, please give us a like, comment, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. And where do we go now? Patreon.com and YouTube memberships. All right, see you in the next video.